have failed this city.
Winter is coming.
Star-Lord.
Finish him. Hadouken! Fatality.
And welcome to Free Your Geek. For those listening on audio, thank you for being here. For those watching either live on Facebook Live right now or watching the replay of this video, thanks again for joining us. I am your host, Jay Free. To my left, the regular co-host, KB.
What's up?
And the People's Geek, the Don.
How you doing?
What's going on, gentlemen? We got a lot to talk about today. You see the spoiler warning above our head. We're going to be talking a couple different things. We're going to be talking the Justice League movie. We all saw that. We're going to be talking the Netflix series, The Punisher. We're also, a trailer dropped a few days ago, I believe yesterday, yeah, as the Dawn is showing right there. Avengers Infinity War, amazing trailer. And KB is going to be, I want him to kind of talk about a little bit about a topic we touched upon on our video game episode way back in the day, Marvel Heroes Omega. There's been some news on that. But before we get into all of that, first of all, I want to take some time out to thank our sponsors. You'll see each of their Facebook pages and the link on the video. But check out Local Blast Marketing. If you're local to the kind of the South Coast area of Massachusetts, they're always posting stories for local news, local things happening in the city of Fall River and these surrounding communities. So check them out. Pachico's Furniture. Not only do they have amazing secondhand furniture, but they also offer moving services. So if I ever decide to move out of my apartment, I'm going to be calling Pachico's and saying, hey, guys, move my stuff.
Good, he doesn't have to call us, Don.
Right.
Really?
You guys,
I can't do it. I'm so moved out. Like, it's not ever happening again. I'm paying people to move me from now on.
Well, there you
Facts.
go. And Ritual Sweat Society, for those looking before the new year to get in a little bit of shape. Tara Winterhalter, friend of the show, does her yoga thing. And KB, I know you were talking about our friends from across the street, too. Why don't you give them a little heads up?
So Game King having a Magic tournament this weekend on December 2nd. It's a tournament called Cards Against Cancer. So it's to raise cancer awareness. This is the third annual tournament. So go check them out this weekend on December 2nd. If you want to learn some Magic or play in the tournament, more than welcome to join
when we
them
say
down there.
Magic.
Yeah, I was
Magic
just
the
gonna hop
Gathering.
on that.
Not like I'm going to make this disappear.
Magic the Gathering.
Magic the Gathering. So let's put that out there first and foremost. Looks like we have a couple of people already joining. John Viveris, friend of the show. He's on pretty much every week watching.
We need John to come back on the show.
We do, and I want to talk about when we get to the Avengers trailer. I want to talk about that because he made some very awesome points.
He did.
For those. And the Lumberjack, Relic's
The Lumberjack, Relic's blood. My beard can contest with yours now and forever, my friend.
He actually says on Facebook Live, I know what you're thinking, Don. I don't want to know what you're thinking, sir. So, KB, do you want to get into Marvel Heroes Omega first?
Definitely.
That's a quick thing. We can
Definitely.
We can talk about that.
So anybody who heard, I forget what episode it was, but we were talking about some video games. Marvel Heroes Omega, basically very similar to Marvel Ultimate Alliance, but an online game. So the game has shut down. So the game has shut down because there was some sexual misconduct, I guess, on part of the CEO.
I didn't know that
Wait,
at all.
what?
Yep.
I thought it was just like, hey, we're not making money.
No. So what happened was the CEO, basically there was some allegations of, the sensitivity to sexual things that's going on. And in all fairness, that's fine. But so Disney, being the company that they are, decided to part ways with Gazillion.
Yeah.
So the Marvel contract was over.
Oh my God.
So basically now what's happened is that it was supposed to end on December 31st. They were supposed to shut the servers down. They decided to shut them down the other day.
Yeah.
So they made an announcement to shut them down at the end of the year. They changed their mind and shut them down the other day. Now people are, and even before they shut them down, are demanding refunds.
Absolutely.
Absolutely so, because the game had been on PC for 4 or 5 years. So if you lost your money there, okay, there's no guarantee. You know what I mean? And plus, you're directly on PC. You're dealing directly with the company.
Yeah.
Xbox, so Microsoft and Sony have been getting request refunds because it was only on console for not even 8 months.
Oh wow, yeah.
Something like that. So
That was a
people
long time
paid
ago.
hundreds of dollars, and some people. There are some people that invest thousands into games like these. that have lost a lot of money and not happy about it.
So initially, just so
Yep.
I'm aware, because it was free to play, but
Yep.
I have a PlayStation. To get on, I'd actually have to buy a pack.
You didn't
for-
have to.
I didn't. Okay, because that's where I was
Nope, you
confused.
didn't
I
have
actually
to.
bought like the War Machine. I think it
Yep,
was the
I did
cheapest
too.
one.
Yep.
Yeah. So again, people are buying these packs to get these characters to unlock these characters, rather than getting the in-game currency,
Or work for
building
it, yeah.
that up,
Yep.
and then buying that.
Yep.
So they basically spent their hard-earned
I
money.
probably spent like $60 over the course of the 8 months. Spent like 20 here, 20 there. Just dropped a couple things on it. So here's the interesting news. So Microsoft is giving refunds. They've been pretty good about it. They're like, we're giving refunds to everybody who's played this game. That's from what I've read. Now everything's just based on things that I've read. Sony, however, is a different picture. Sony is not giving refunds. But Sony UK has been giving refunds. Sony UK has been giving refunds, but Sony US has not. I do not know the reason for that. I don't know why that would be.
Yeah, it looks
But-
like for those watching on Facebook right now,
Yeah.
we're all jammed up. So we're all audio right now.
But
But we'll be posting this video up.
so I'll just continue.
Yeah, keep going.
So there are people who are kind of upset about that. It's like, okay, why is just the UK getting refunds?
Everybody should get their
It-
refund.
it-
on
it's
that.
it's unbelievable. So it's a big mess, and I can't blame Disney for parting ways. But forget about the money that everybody spent, for a second. And let's think about all the employees that got laid off.
Yeah.
That were
That was a moneymaker
that
for
first
a while.
that first found out that they were going to lose their job at the end of the year, and then all of a sudden find out they're losing their job right before Christmas.
Oh,
That is just that's just crazy. So I feel really bad for those people that are have to go through that.
yeah. I think that anybody who put any sort of money in this should get full refund,
Absolutely.
and on top of that, further compensated. Like,
Yeah,
I feel like
it-
they should get
Wouldn't surprise me if there's a class action suit or something.
Yeah.
But you got to think more about the employees that lost their jobs, that put their heart and soul into the game, and
Yeah.
and then to be told you had a job after Christmas, and to make it worse, you
lost
you
it.
lost it even
literally.
before then. So you got to my heart goes out to those people.
I feel like even though with a company shutting down like that though, I don't think that the
I don't know if the company shut down completely or if it's just because the contract with Disney's over. I don't know if that was their only contract. You know what I'm saying? That
Yeah.
I haven't paid too much attention to them as a company. But, Disney doing what they did, you'd think maybe there would be a little more forethought, another solution, so to speak,
Yeah.
But I guess you can't blame them for wanting to separate themselves from that. So if you another piece of advice is I would not if somebody had put charges on recently, I wouldn't dispute your charges if you're a Sony person, because what happens is if you dispute your charges,
Yeah.
it could gum up the works with your account and everything. You know what I
Spoil your
mean?
gameplay.
Yeah, because
screw all
Sony
that.
says, "Oh, wait a minute, you're not accepting charges from us anymore. Let's block your account." That kind of thing. So I would avoid that. And kind of just wait it out and see if Sony gives refunds to everybody. But yeah, it kind of sucks because I was really enjoying the game, really getting into it.
The game seemed when I first jumped into it, it seemed really fun.
Yeah.
The fact that I didn't save it the first few times and had to play the first 2 or 3
Yep,
missions
because you
over
played in the
and
beta.
over.
Because you
Yeah.
played in the beta. Once you
I
got
just-
past the beta, though, if you went past the beta,
I fizzled out with it, and then
Yeah.
you guys know I get obsessed with World War II.
it was
so-
awesome when I started getting to the bosses,
Yeah.
like the Venoms and and then they did an Apocalypse pack, and then they did a
Oh, wow.
they did a daily pack of the Daily Bugle where you fought the Sinister Six and you had Vulture is the last boss, the movie
Nice.
version,
Yeah, I
of
figured they'd do
Vulture,
something like
and
that.
yeah, so it was just really good. And then they had all the Age of Apocalypse costumes that came out. They added Venom with the anti-Venom costume. That was one of the packs I bought actually.
That's nasty.
It was nasty, and the textures and the graphics were just phenomenal. So, yeah, it was awesome. Gonna miss it.
Well, that actually kind of stinks. So we're still recording video right now for those that are kind of seeing me dart back and forth here, and we're still on the audio, but the live video has ended. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to end the video for those listening on video right now. For those on audio, just chill out, and we'll be back like nothing happened. Yeah, for those listening on audio, we'll be right back. For those watching the video, find part
Bum
2
bum bum.
right under the videos. So we'll be right back. All right, take two, ladies and gentlemen. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to just keep going along. If the video fails, we had some internet issues. So if the internet fails as we're going, just stick around. We're going to keep recording. We'll upload the video to our Facebook page a little bit later. But if the live stream fails because of internet connectivity, we apologize. But the video will be available on our Facebook page a little bit later. So I'm going to say that one more time as Don is sharing everything. Because, again, we're having some internet connections issues, I guess. I don't know why. We just saw the spinning wheel there for a little while. So hopefully that doesn't crap out on us again. But as I mentioned, if it does happen to fail again, the live video will be back up. So you're going to hear me, for the folks listening to the audio, I'm going to say this ad nauseum in between each segment that we have here, because if it happens, I want them to understand that. But again, if the live Facebook feed fails, try to say that fast 3 times, it'll be back on our Facebook page after the conclusion, after we'll upload it again. But again, internet connectivity issues, so we apologize for that. But we'll go to take 2 right now and then just keep recording all the way through and see what happens. So, ladies and gentlemen, for those that missed the first part of the episode and we're coming in kind of like a cold open, if this is the first time you're joining us on the video, this is a cold open.
So for your geek first.
Yeah, well, we kind of did something weird before. But we just very briefly talked about the video game Marvel Heroes Omega and how it's now shut down. People are pissed off. People want their refunds. You know, it's only been on consoles for a few months, so we'll see what happens. Anywho, let's get back into the scheme of things. And let's bring upon, what do we want to talk about? Do we want to talk about the big thing first, the Avengers trailer?
Let's start it up, yeah.
Yeah, so the Avengers trailer dropped, yesterday, I believe it is, shared on
Awesome
our Facebook
trailer.
page. What about the Avengers trailer grabbed you the most? It opens with basically the Nick Fury speech said by the different members of the Avengers.
Oh, yeah.
The one thing I was not a huge fan of is Black Widow is blonde now.
Yeah.
I was not a huge fan of that.
A little strange.
Not that looks, I don't want to sound sexist, but I mean, I'm just used to Black Widow having like the red hair. So Scarlett Johansson's still a beautiful woman, no matter if she's blonde, brunette, or redhead. But I just like to see Black Widow with that brunette hair.
You mean red hair?
Thank
Crimson.
you. Sorry, Crimson, yes. I'm thinking Scarlett Johansson. So again, let's talk about some of the big things. And this is where I want to shout out John Viveris. And now he's obviously not here since our technical issues. Hopefully he jumps back on the video. But we had some Thanos. Some Thanos showing up.
Did his face look interesting?
That's been a point of contention. Is Thanos' face that it differs from the Guardians? They say his skin is also a lot lighter. But again, it could just be like the last time we saw him, he was in deep space. Yeah. So it could have just been all kinds of weird and dark and stuff like that. So
he looks like Shao Kahn from Mortal Kombat 2.
And the other thing on the Infinity Gauntlet is there's only 2 stones. Which
at
is
that point,
interesting.
Well, at that point, yes.
Well,
So
I'm just curious is them filling in the gaps of, okay, where did he get the 2 from? And
unfortunately,
so forth,
like them showing us that teaser,
Doesn't tell us,
showing them
yeah.
2 stones, gives us kind of our answer on what's going to happen in Black Panther.
Well, yes and no. Yes and no. We don't know that. So John Viveris, who actually just joined back, so welcome back, John. He was going back and forth with me on our Facebook page talking about that and mentioned that we know 2 of the stones. It's the Tesseract Stone, the Space Stone, and the one that was with the Collector.
The Nova Corps.
Power Stone. Yeah, Nova Corps, correct, not with the Collector.
Yeah.
We still have the Ether, or that's the reality, I believe, that's still with that was with the Collector at the end of Thor Dark World. And the only one we're missing is the Soul, I believe.
What about the one that blew up in the Guardians?
That's the one that was brought to the
That's the
Nova
one.
Corps. That's on the Gauntlet and the Tesseract one. We see in the trailer Vision,
one of frickin' Thanos' henchmen's got the scepter trying to pry it out of his forehead.
Andrew on Facebook says, awesome trailer, really excited for the release next year. Absolutely. And we're only like 6 months away.
Yeah,
Yeah.
when
it's
you
not
really
that
think
far.
about it. But yeah, John Viveris and I were talking a little bit. And so we know 2 of the stones that Thanos is going to have, and he might have that 3rd stone with the Vision as we see it being pried from his head. So that still leaves the one that's currently with the Collector, the Ether.
The one with Doctor Strange.
The one, the Eye of Agamotto.
Yep.
Well, that's the whole
the
reason he
time.
hits New York.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Which I love that we get that little Peter
We
Parker
get
on
to
the
see-
subway train,
That was
like
my favorite. That was my favorite scene with
Yeah.
the hair standing up on his. The
Spider senses. Yeah,
Yeah.
dude, you're awesome.
You gotta love it. That's my favorite scene of the trailer. But I just, obviously the action's great. We know that there's gonna be a boatload of heroes. There's gonna be a ton of heroes.
It's the build-up. It's what we've been waiting for.
When was the first Iron Man movie?
2007, 2008.
Something like that. So this is 10 years in the making of all
Yeah.
these solo films. Now we've built
See
up
it
all
come
these
together.
characters, and this is going to be the end of Phase 3, and they're going to start Phase 4.
Phase 4,
Yep.
and then after Phase 4, they're switching gears, which is a whole other topic.
Well, yeah, we can talk about that at a later time, maybe closer to when the movie's about to drop.
Yep.
Yeah.
But all in all, favorite takeaways. John also mentioned
War Machine being back.
War Machine being back, and there's no Hawkeye.
No
We
Hawkeye.
haven't seen Hawkeye.
We also haven't seen Ant-Man. We haven't seen Wasp. What else was big in there? You know what I thought was really, really cool? As my favorite thing. Actually, yeah, you only get to drop
They show the
yours.
Vision and Scarlet Witch relationship developing a bit because they show
him a little bit more human.
Yeah,
him being a little more human.
The whole
which
you
may
know,
make his death more
flesh-
dramatic.
The whole flesh of Vision, like him actually being in like a human-esque form.
Yeah.
I thought it was cool, but the best thing was two parts. One is where you hear somebody like, I think it's Black Panther, was like, get this man a shield. But
Yeah.
before that, it goes to the little scene of like them running through the woods. You got Hulk, you got Cap.
Yeah.
Cap's not rocking the shield. He's got the braces on. He's got the full forearm braces, which again, I'm not a comic guy, but there's a whole 1970s storyline that goes along with that. Man Without a Country.
The other thing I'm thinking of too is that I remember when we first started talking about Infinity War, the plan was for Captain Marvel to make an appearance somewhere,
Right?
and we didn't see any of that. So
No.
I'm curious if that will just be like a cutscene at the end.
I think it's going to be like a bailout at the end of the movie because I feel like at the end of Infinity Wars we're not going to get like a definitive ending. You know what I mean? Like it's something's
No.
going
You
to
think it'll
break
be
away.
Cliffhanger?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I'm actually hoping for a cliffhanger. You know what I mean? Like
Well, this isn't the last Avengers movie. So
no.
they got
I
one more coming.
understand that. Yeah, but
Which
I
will-
mean, I think it'd be cool. Like if these actors were smart, they'd basically sign on until it's time to like end the frickin' franchise.
But it may
and then-
not. It may not be. They may Disney Marvel may be going in another direction. And I think, and I know we said we get to it at a later date, but I have to say it. I think they're going to go in the direction of making the Ultimates the new group because you have. I hate to say it, but you have Black Panther and you have Captain Marvel.
Yeah,
And they're the Ultimates in the comics now.
I'll tell
And
you
it's,
my
they
opinion.
may be transitioning to the newer generation, is what they're talking about. That's what I'm thinking.
I think that
that's what I'm thinking.
those are definitely valid points, but like, look, the Inhumans say, look, you guys got a TV show out of that. Defenders TV show.
Yep.
Look, these are pretty well known names, but they're not marquee names. They're
Oh, I
not the
understand.
Avengers. They're not the X-Men. Look, even Fantastic Four
No, I
gets a
get you.
shit. Oh, sorry, shit
That's
deal.
okay, it's
you know what I
okay.
mean?
You can drop the occasional.
Yeah.
effort.
PG-13, man.
But I'm saying, like, you have to be like one of those like elite teams.
Yeah.
Like I feel like, look, now we're finally getting Justice League, and I mean, I'm pro Justice League.
Yep.
You know,
Yep.
I'm all about this.
We'll get to it
and-
in a little bit.
yeah, we'll get to that. But yeah, I don't know where I was going with that. I like the I like the main teams. What
Yeah.
what I would think would be pretty cool is if they, I don't know, transition over into like the new Avengers. You know what I mean?
Well, that's also a possibility. You know what I mean?
Because we have the
Or
Netflix.
more of an uncanny Avengers kind of thing with Scarlet Witch and maybe, well, no, because Rogue is part of the.
Yeah, think of
Next
like
in
we've
universe,
had so
yeah.
many different combinations of the Avengers over the years.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about
It's
like
such an open door. I mean, you can even throw Luke Cage back in there. if
Yeah,
you
I was
wanted
gonna
to.
say, throw the
and
heroes
Jessica
for
Jones, like
hire.
you could throw them back in there, really, if you wanted to.
Or if
Making
the
it happen.
rumors are believed to be true, they might be getting the rights back to the Fantastic Four
And X-Men.
and X-Men if they.
And that would
decide-
be massive.
well, I mean,
That
throw
would
in
be-
like Logan, throw in the
I mean,
Thing.
just the Fantastic Four, like if they
Yeah.
got that
Oh,
back and added that into the next phase,
I don't,
like that would be.
I know you're a Mr. Fantastic fan.
I am.
But I will have to say this. Of all the different villains we've seen, what about Doom in a Marvel cinematic universe?
Yes.
A Marvel Studios movie, I think, would be absolutely
Yes,
insane.
absolutely.
And think
We've
about-
been lacking
Of
a Doom.
yeah.
Realistically, and throughout all these movies, we've had like what are they, like henchmen villains? We've had no. I mean,
Well,
I will say this though, like Green Goblin, amazing, like you know, like main villain.
I feel like Red Skull is.
Red Skull. Oh,
Red
God.
Skull is the closest thing we've gotten to a
I
Doom.
disagree. I say Loki is the closest recurring villain because
recurring, yeah.
everybody else is been one movie and disposed
Yes.
of.
Yeah.
But
So-
Loki plays both parts.
He does, but he's the closest thing we have to a recurring. So where Doom would come in, I guarantee you, if Doom comes in as a villain,
Yep.
nobody's killing that dude. He's not. He might just like take off, or he might beat feet and leave. But I guarantee you, Doom would be a recurring villain, and he could go through Doctor Strange versus Doctor Doom in the Art of Mystics. Think about that.
Crazy.
hate Doctor Strange. So Doctor Strange once, like, since we're talking about, like the Punisher and Avengers and whatnot, Doctor Strange actually once fused with the Punisher to become. What is it, like Dr. Punisher or something? This is legit. This is like legit comic book stuff.
He will shoot you down, kill you, and then bring you back to life.
Kill you again.
Almost almost all of the multiverse was destroyed except Battlegrounds, which I guess is Doctor Doom's like last
Secret
planet.
Wars,
Yeah, man, this stuff was wild.
Yeah.
I don't read comics, and I'm just sitting there like reading all this stuff, and I'm like, whoa, make it happen.
What else is? Let's talk about just real quick before we get into the Punisher. Let's talk about a little bit more on the trailer here. What else do we really see happening? We see a lot of Tony Stark looking somber. Battle going on. We see a cool little interaction between Doctor Strange and Stark, and who else is in?
Bruce Banner.
Thank you.
Yep.
And it's just we see the little tag at the end, which again, spoilers. You can see somebody point above your head. There you go. I think we're going to be. We might be.
It's been going in and out because it's
Have
moving
we?
for me, not moving for you.
All right. So
Yeah.
what we're doing here is we have some technical issues going on with the internet here, so we might be slowing down a little bit. If we do, don't fret. We will keep recording the video and then post it at a later time, so you can go back and watch it. But I would like to point out, though, the little tag at the end with Thor, with the eye patch, as we saw from Ragnarok, and he
Slick Rick.
turns and he goes, "Who the hell are you guys?" And we know we've already seen the teaser trailer for those that went to San Diego Comic-Con or saw the leaked video of that. He's going to run into the Guardians, and they have Mantis, they have Teenage Groot. I think it's going to be pretty badass. Real quick, John Viveris.
That is an
says
interesting
theory going around that claims Banner is actually in the Hulkbuster armor in the trailer.
I was thinking that because it's all hands on deck. You'd probably need Iron Man to be.
Yeah, or how cool would it be to see the Hulkbuster armor come out and Thanos or one of his lackeys just like tooling on it, and all of a sudden the thing explodes and the Hulk inside of it. He's hulking out while he's inside the Hulkbuster armor. That would be sick.
Yeah.
It'd be sick if Doctor Strange had the ability to separate the Hulk and Banner, because you would need both of them. You would need Banner's incredible intelligence combined with, not combined with, you know what I mean, to separate him, because we've already seen Hulk creating, not the Hulk's personality has come along. So imagine that being able.
But even by this movie, will we see it come along even more?
Hulk don't like Thanos.
Somebody's
Green
asking,
better than
y'all
purple.
selling a couch? Well, no, we're not. But one of our sponsors, Pachico's Furniture, has great secondhand furniture. So check out. Okay, that was enough of a shit.
Dylan, you want my couch? What?
Does it get us more viewers?
I don't know.
Johnny Levine
Give it away for
John
couch.
Levine, my
said,
cousin,
"Step on the gas."
wants to talk about Punisher. All right, I think John. Well, since you're in the conversation here on Facebook, what episode you up? Did you finish it, or where you at?
Oh, you know he finished it.
So let
you
me
know
know.
he finished
Let
it.
me know. I want to hear that. Yeah. So let's leave the Avengers trailer talk. It was amazing. It got me hyped.
Excited. Super excited.
6 months from now can't come fast enough. May 18th or May 2018? I know that it's in May. So Dylan says he heard the guy in the pickle shirt is selling a couch. I'm just.
Hey, Dylan, I sell couches on Tuesdays. You know what I mean? It's Thursday, pal. Come and see me on Tuesday. You know what I'm saying?
And Johnny.
What would we do without
Don brings the fans into this show. He's the interesting. He's the Kramer of our show. Exactly.
Newman.
If I'm the Seinfeld, do you want to be the George or the Elaine? That's a precarious position to put you in.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay, so both John Levine and John Viveris finished The Punisher.
I finished too, unlike these two guys.
I'm on episode 10.
I finished 5 minutes of it and fell asleep.
but that's through
Not
no fault of
hating
the
it.
show.
I was tired. I
It
was
he
just tired.
He was watching it late at night.
I was.
I really like what I've seen so far. Like I said, I have 10, 11, 12, and 13 left to go. I got 4 episodes left. I love the fact that it's turning into more of like a military type of, more kind of like a political facets of it too. You know, there's a lot of scenes that take place kind of like with a not like a motivational speaker, but like Curtis, the character, is kind of like almost like an AA for former soldiers that might be suffering from
PTSD.
yeah.
good.
It's a really cool concept, and I like his character a lot. Obviously, John Bernthal playing
He's a
Frank
monster,
Castle
man.
is amazing.
Perfect fit.
Micro is a great character.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's a good dynamic with those two.
I like how they're bleeding over Karen from Daredevil.
Yep.
Yeah, so KB, I mean, since you finished it, why don't you kind of give us what your thoughts? Because John's on Facebook telling me weak for not
Awesome,
finishing,
definitely
so-
in my top 3 Marvel shows.
Okay.
And I'm not even a huge Punisher fan. Like I'm not somebody who read a
No.
lot of them or
Yeah.
like whatever. Just because it's like it's very, I don't want to say different. I'm trying to think of the word to describe it from the other shows. It is different from the other shows. It separates itself a little bit.
Well, each show has its own feel. Where
But out of that
Daredevil's kinda
universe
like more
a
of a
little bit,
street,
yeah.
gritty, and Iron Fist was kind of like the kung fu. Jessica Jones was the film noir. You know, Luke Cage was kind of like almost like an urban feel, and then the Defenders was the Defenders. But this is kind of again, I feel like it's more like a political and military type of feel.
Which is very good because if
There's
real-
more
real-
drama in this. You feel the drama a bit more, I think, than some of the other shows.
All I was gonna say is like all of the different personalities of these characters are all like the different boroughs of New York. You know what I mean? Like if you look at it like that, the way you just like line them all up. You know what I mean? Because you have Uptown, you got what's his name, Iron Fist.
Yep.
Yeah,
Luke
yeah,
Cage.
Yeah.
Yeah, like they all fit in their own little spots in New York. It's
Interesting
cool.
thing, and small spoiler, not a big spoiler, but there's no Claire Temple. So, no Claire Temple.
Yeah,
Just so you
so
know. That's the
there's-
first show she hasn't been
There's
in.
a scene where Frank Castle gets a wound,
Yep.
and he needs to have some medical attention, and they do not go to Claire, which I thought have talked with some people, and they said that it wasn't a. It was kind of a letdown because they like her being the anchor to the show,
Yeah.
but to me it's kind of I like how it's not a given that she's going to be on the show since she's been in every other one.
It separates the show a little more, I
Yeah.
think, too. You know? And I do just love like you said, John Bernthal is fantastic. This one is probably the most graphic of them. That's the next thing you got to get to. Is this one is probably the bloodiest, most
John
graphic.
Levine, that's what he's saying.
You
He
are
says-
into that, and I'm into that. I love it. You'll be right at home with this show. It's much more graphic than than some of the other shows.
Yeah, John says he's not a big comic book guy, which he isn't, but he says he does really love the style and the design of the show.
Yep.
He likes the level of graphic violence, but the story isn't watered down. But it does. There's in the political, and we don't get political on the show, but just to kind of take a step and talk about the Punisher in the political environment that we live in now, especially with
Kinda
all the
fits.
the mass
Yeah.
shootings and whatnot, and versus gun control versus the right to be.
Yep.
There's arguments on both sides in this series. And I think it does, a little bit of a good job. They paint one of the unlikable characters as kind of like this right wing, like all these liberals are trying to take away our guns, and just for the fact that, but you see where Frank Castle, opposed to what all the seediness going on in the political game, the subterfuge, everything going on from just a political level that doesn't even incur any weapons or gun violence, where sometimes the weapons are needed to take down some of these characters that are doing even worse damage, and to not just the military but to society as a whole. Because the whole play is that Frank and Micro are going after somebody smuggling heroin from their mission. So when somebody in the military, a higher ranking official in the military, was smuggling in heroin, and they're kind of get to the bottom of that, and it ties to Frank's family and Micro's family.
The other thing I really like about this show that's different from the other shows is there's a lot of flashback, and I think that's very refreshing for the Marvel shows because they all kind of just follow the path of the story. Where like this is like, oh yeah, this was 6 months ago because they go back to Afghanistan, or there's a certain, I forget what episode is. I don't know if Jeff hit this episode because it's one of the later episodes where it's like there's a situation that happens. And they tell the story. The whole episode is they tell it from 3 different points of view.
I haven't hit that episode.
3
I think that's
people's
the
stories.
next
people that were at the event. So it's a detective saying, "Hey, what happened?" And then going to the other person, "Hey, what happened?" And they all have different stories of what happened. And the show nicely goes back into the main story because of the way they did it. Like it didn't feel disjointed or like they were taking too much time with it. Like it just flowed so nicely that it's great writing. Really good writing. So definitely love that show.
Going back to our little comment about the difference left side versus right side. Friend of the show, Johnny Leathers.
Johnny.
He jumped in here and said, "Damn people, I'm supposed to have the right to bear arms. Freaking PETA took my bare arms off my wall."
Family Guy joke. Ha ha ha.
Well, that's okay. That's okay.
I love it.
He shot that bear with his bow and arrow.
Everybody has a right to a pair of bare arms on their wall.
That's correct. And John Rivera says the actors and actresses that play the supporting cast are really good as well, which I agree with.
Absolutely.
I agree. The guy that plays Lewis, great character. Micro, great character.
Yep.
His wife, the actress that plays, awesome character. All around the supporting cast. So John Bernthal obviously carries the show as the Punisher, but putting Karen Page in there. She's a great, what's her name? Deborah Ann Woll, I believe it is. Fantastic actress. The dude that, and I don't know all the actors' names, but the dude that plays Micro is great. Lewis is great. Curtis is great.
Yeah.
My favorite scene so far is, I believe he finds, is it Agent Orange he sees behind, and Frank's ready to take him out, and he's ready to snipe him. And the guy's standing in this like head to toe,
great scene,
long window, and Frank's just, doing the 1 batch, 2 batch. And then, spoilers. Well, it's kind of a given at this point. And he fires, and it's bulletproof glass, and you just see the guy's head, and all of a sudden it shatters right in front of his head, and it's like so. I'm like, oh my god, that was so good because I thought it was going to get him right there, but the dude is taking precautions. So, a couple of Facebook comments. John Levine says when Frank, it's a continuing concept where he's dreaming. And he sees his wife, and he keeps seeing her murdered right in front of him, and he wakes up in a cold sweat. Dylan, he goes, "What's your names, guys?" Is that a reference that I'm not getting?
know.
Well, you know what, Dylan? Hi, Dylan. I'm Jay Free, aka
KB.
Jeff. KB, aka Kevin, and the Don.
And I'm the Don. We don't sell couches here. If I happen to accidentally drop this video in a Massachusetts couch buying room, we're sorry about that. But hey, at least you're getting to learn about, Punisher, Infinity Wars, a video game you can't play anymore. Listen, bro, there's no couches. But I may know a guy who knows a guy that can get you a good deal on a couch.
So you can hit up the Don, like our Facebook page, and you can send a message, which we'll forward over to the Don. But yes, for those that are just first time viewing the show, we are the Free Your Geek podcast, where basically we talk about all geek culture, man. Anything from
you're
video
passionate
games to pop culture, whatever you're passionate about. We've had filmmakers on here, a couple people that do cosplays. We had a call-in cosplayer.
Some musical guests.
Yeah. So we kind of run the gamut. Our main focus is
Have
on
some friends at Whatever Bro podcast.
exactly. Basically superheroes and fantasy are our main, sci-fi kind of our wheelhouse. But we host a show either every week or every other week. But feel free to like the Free Your Geek page. You
Share
get
it.
notifications when we go on. Yeah, share the video, and man. So anyone else new, welcome. And for those that may have just joined us, we have been having some spotty internet connection, which ended our first initial Facebook Live video. So this is essentially a two-parter back-to-back, one after the other. So hopefully it's stabilized now, and welcome.
Johnny, I gotta say that couch that you're talking about, I know in the picture it looked like it was black. It's now crusted over nice and white for you. I know it's your favorite color, Johnny. So rock that couch out, baby.
That's a Harvey Weinstein joke, I believe.
Johnny Leather's just been Weinsteined on air right now. What will you do for the part, Johnny? What will you do to be an extra in Daddy's Home 2, Johnny? What did you do? Were you Weinsteined? If so, call the Weinstein hotline, 1-888-555.
I want to put Johnny in a debacle. If there was a Back to the Future 4 coming, would he want to be an extra?
Johnny Leathers, hit us up in the Facebook comments.
Oh my God!
Think about that, because on the show when he came on, first time,
He was building a DeLorean. He was building a DeLorean.
But as far as Back to the Future 4, he's like, no, not to do it.
Johnny says, yeah, buddy. So I'm assuming that means he's in.
So, Even if it was bad, Johnny.
We'll have to. Actually, I've been talking with Johnny. Quick aside, and he's going to be coming on probably in the next month or two, because I think a little bit after the holidays when he's around here, because he's an international man of mystery.
Shagadelic,
And,
baby.
Yeah, he's going to come on and do the Leather Report at some point in time.
And
we're gonna-
should we give the the views of Johnny
Yeah, yeah.
Leatherhead?
So yeah, and that's the other thing too. We try to keep it PG-13 on this show, but we just want to also point out the views and opinions expressed by anyone in the comments section or even my co-hosts here do not reflect the opinions of 59 Media or the For Your Geek podcast. All legal jargon, blah blah blah.
Blah blah blah.
Okay,
Small
so
fine print.
What else? Okay, so other just final thoughts on the Punisher, KB.
Awesome.
We know Don's going to be
Top three.
Okay, so top three. I know we don't do we usually do a countdown every show, but we're not going to do one. But just where does it rank in the top three? Is it 3, 2,
Three.
or 1? Okay, so what's 2 and 1 for you?
Jessica Jones and Daredevil.
Season
like-
1 or season 2?
1. I liked 1.
Okay, interesting. I'd probably put it in the top 3 as well. I don't know. I feel it's tough to like gauge all these shows because they're like, as Don, as you mentioned, they're all kind of like different feels too.
Yeah.
I really like Daredevil season 1. I really like Jessica Jones. I really like the Defenders. I know a lot of people kind of crapped on it, but I like the Defenders.
Defenders,
thought
I
it was
felt
cool.
like I wish they had gone like a full 12 episodes and made it a bit longer and,
mean-
and put more detail and time into it. That's just how I felt about it.
I look
I
at
was
it-
good. I just
I look at it like this. Some days I want chicken nuggets. Other days I want tacos.
That's great.
Some days I want tacos with
Great way
chicken
to put
nuggets
it.
in the tacos, and that's the Defenders.
chicken nuggets.
I agree with
I'm
that.
right?
To me, I would change that analogy a little bit. It's like if you go
A
to
little bit
a
of ice
fast
cream in there,
food-
too?
No, if you go to a fast food place, you take some French fries out and you put it on top of your burger, and you have it when you eat your burger.
I get a little more zany
Hey,
than that.
I was
you know?
thinking of the ultimate chicken meal: KFC chicken, Market Basket mac and cheese with Popeyes biscuits.
He gets the idea. He gets it. He gets it.
That's the Defenders.
What's our opinion on Kanye?
Go for it, Don.
Kanye, jeez. Well, I gotta say this. I give thanks to Kanye because of Kanye. I have my gamer tag, only one of me. Boom. Yeah, that's true. Kanye he loves fish sticks in his mouth, and I gotta give a shout out to South Park for
That's a
that
great
one.
reference.
But dude's smart. I mean, you can be an arrogant asshole when you got that much money. Shit,
But
I
he's
would.
also
brilliant.
talented. He's
He's
talented.
brilliant.
He is
He's
talented,
talented.
but still, I would be as arrogant as
I
him.
remember I remember when the College Dropout came out.
That was
and
a
through,
phenomenal
through the
album.
wire, and I was just like blown away. I'm like, this guy, whatever he is, he's it. Whatever it is, he has it, and it's as simple as that for Kanye.
Dude can
And,
do the most ignorant
yeah.
stuff and still be praised and
And I'll-
make obscene amounts of
I'll
money.
say this: whatever you think about Kim Kardashian, like dudes with her, I think she's hot, she's gorgeous, and she's beautiful, and she's a smart woman as well. Her whole family, as much as we might not necessarily like the product they put out,
They found their niche and they
know how to
know how to
market
do it.
And it's I don't think it's a power couple like Jay-Z and Beyonce, but I think it was a smart move hooking up with Kim too. So, but
well, Kim's got no talent.
yeah, but
I'm
she's
just throwing it out there. She's got
that's-
fake
that's
ass
fine.
and fake breasts and fake face and fake. She's got no talent. Not that I have actorial talent, but I can call out a spade a spade. I mean, she's got no talent.
again the views and opinions expressed by my
By
co-host.
just this guy right here with these two thumbs.
The pickle
So
guy.
even in her sex tape, there's no talent.
let's not go down that
And
rabbit
watch
hole.
the Kim Kardashian
Listen,
and Ray J
listen.
sex tape.
Let's
I did not.
ready for this. Let's not
doing what's
punish
out there.
our audience
Oh.
with that talk.
I know that would be an infinite headache.
All right, so the last big thing that we have,
Justice
we have
League.
another movie, Justice League. We all saw it. We're gonna spoil the crap out of this movie though, because it's been out a couple weeks now. Overall, and I'm glad we didn't talk about this beforehand. If you were to give it a number ranking, 10 being the best, 1 being the worst, what would you give it?
7.
KB?
8, I guess. I'll be nice.
Well,
I
I,
would-
thought,
I
I thought
would-
I was being nice by giving 7.
I was gonna say a 7 or a 6.
Yeah.
6
I'm-
or 7.
And
I'm gonna be really nice.
I gave Batman vs Superman a 4, if I'm not mistaken, and I thought this was head and shoulders above Batman.
Yes.
vs.
We can do a quick top 5 on this because only 5 DC movies.
All right, let's rank them real quick.
Okay, you can start, or you want me to start? I'll start.
Oh, wait,
Yeah.
wait,
Okay,
wait.
I'll start. So, because there's only been 5 DC movies, so just quick top
Of the
5.
D- not including the Nolan Batman flick.
Yeah. I was gonna
but I'm
say
saying-
that
no,
seems-
just because the DC cinematic universe as it is now. So for me, it would go from the bottom to the top. Batman vs Superman is at the bottom of my list. After that would be the Superman movie, because we forget that that's really the first one.
I
right?
like that.
But after that would be Suicide Squad for me, number 3.
Okay.
Justice League at number 4, Wonder Woman. Justice League at number 2, and then Wonder Woman at number 1.
I gotta say,
Is that kind of where?
still even right now, I'm not interested in seeing Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
I have no desire to watch that movie, and it sucks because everyone
Okay,
Wonder
so-
Woman. Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, yeah.
If you want me to roll mine off my tongue, Wonder Woman's going to be at the bottom because I haven't watched it. Above that would be, and it sucks because I've liked every single movie you've named. I couldn't sit there and pick apart those other
You
movies.
really like Batman vs Superman?
I did.
Wow.
I did because it's a good setup for this. Look, Superman died at the end. They brought him back. Spoiler alert. You know what I mean? Superman.
Did you watch the extended? Because I heard the extended was better.
No,
I didn't see the
All right,
extended.
Dude, I watched that movie one
could probably-
time.
Yeah,
That's
I'll
all I
talk about
had
that.
to do is sit and watch it once. I absorbed it. Now, what I do want to
Bye,
say
Jimmy Olsen. Bang, bang.
We'll get to that.
is the only thing that hurt this movie. I would have maybe given it a 9. Ben Affleck doesn't want to be Batman. He did not act at all. He sat there and talked through his parts, and there was no you can even try to I tried to give the argument. Well, he's old man Batman and old man Bruce Wayne. Still, this guy did not want to act.
Right.
It was very disappointing because I love Ben Affleck as an actor. I love Batman as a character.
And he's been decent the other times as
And
Batman.
he was yes.
Yeah.
So why let it? Why are you gonna now
For
that
the
you're
big
at
movie,
the
why are
yeah.
you letting it kind of, yeah.
Well,
The girl carried it. Whoever the girl,
Gal Gadot?
she
Gal Gadot.
is incredible.
Well, that's
So
why Wonder Woman
I'll say this real quick. So I agree with Dylan. Wonder Woman is number 1, no doubt, which I agree with. So just quick top 5 for me. I'd put Batman versus Superman 5th, Suicide Squad number 4, Superman number 3, Justice League number 2, Wonder Woman
So
number
similar
1.
to mine.
But I will say the extended version of Batman versus Superman clears up a lot of the plot holes that I had a problem with. So if we're going by just theatrical versions, that's the way it ranks. But if you watch Batman
I'm
versus
sorry, I
Superman,
just
check out
can't.
the extended cut. There was they expand on the Jimmy Olsen thing, not just hey, there's Jimmy Olsen, boom, he's dead. That was that was a big point.
Still can't get behind it.
I understand
Yeah.
that, and that's your opinion, and that's cool. But I'm saying the extended version flushed out. I think it clocks in at close.
Did they
to three
explain?
hours.
Did they explain who Doomsday's real parents were? Because apparently that was strange to me.
They do a little bit more with Doomsday. They do a little bit more with Lex Luthor. They do a little
Yeah.
bit more with Lois, and it's just,
Zod
but it's, they
and-
cut it up for time, and I get it. So that being said, I really like the Justice League. I'll tell you, what was your favorite part of the movie? Let's just go with that real quick.
Favorite part of the movie, Superman putting a hurting on everybody. Superman, spoiler alert, Superman is resurrected and Cyborg can't control his self-defense mechanism and that was it. It was enough to set Superman off. And the one person who can go toe-to-toe with them was Wonder Woman. And that was
she
pretty
was-
awesome.
yeah.
And even that, though, she couldn't even do too much.
The only person who can really go toe to toe with him is Lois Lane.
Break out the big gun. I honestly did not expect it
That
to
was
be
actually
Lois
pretty
Lane.
good.
That was
that
cool.
was good. I like that.
Dude, I was expecting
I
a
like that.
kryptonite cannon popping out the back, but nope.
Yeah, because you always
Alfred
hear about
rolls
Batman
up.
preparing for the worst weapon,
Yes,
having a weapon against
yes.
Superman, and his weapon in this case was Lois Lane.
I just want to give a quick shout out to those on Facebook Live that are commenting. Alex Maynard said 1 Man of Steel, 2 Wonder Woman, 3 Suicide Squad, 4 Batman versus Superman, and he hasn't made it to see Justice League yet, so we'll have to see where his list changes up after that. John Viveris says he hasn't watched Wonder Woman yet, which he's in the same boat as you, but he ranks it Man of Steel, Justice League, Batman versus Superman, and Suicide Squad at the bottom.
I would have to switch the first two, and then he and
We
I
should
would
do more
be-
of these quick countdowns. These are kind of fun. Hearing it from the audience.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know. Well, that's why I like the Facebook Live
Yeah.
aspect of it, because we get to get our viewers and fans of the show get to rank it a little bit too. Dylan actually agrees with you and says your list is spot on, KB. So there you go.
Way to go, Dylan. Welcome to the show.
So real quick, a couple things that stuck out to me in Justice League. I wish they would have gave Jason Momoa more to do. I
Yes.
thought he could have been more badass as Aquaman.
I liked his design as Aquaman.
They could have given a little bit more time to Cyborg, and this is the problem, in my opinion, where not necessarily I want them to copy what Marvel did and give them their own individual. I mean, it's kind of tough, but for the time they had, I thought each character, Ezra Miller, a lot of people were complaining about the amount of humor, or they didn't like his humor as the Flash. I thought it was
I thought it
hilarious.
was good.
Oh my god!
I thought it was good.
I retract my statement. That kid carried that movie. That
Yeah.
kid was phenomenal.
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah.
god! And then
It was good.
Oh man! And then the Wonder Woman was epic too.
Gal Gadot,
I just
yeah.
push things and run away.
I
You're like,
just-
I love that.
Yeah. Just save one person and see what. Dude, that movie was really, really, really good, man.
It was definitely.
That's what I'm saying. So you were going to give it a 6, or you were going to give it a 6?
No, he was. I stuck with my
that's
7.
what I'm saying. I think it's more like a 7.5, 8 because
Yeah.
if you really look at the core of what it is, and what really sold it for me was the final scene at the end, the second extra scene after the credits.
That's what I say. My two
That
favorite scenes were
really
the
sold me
mid credit,
going forward.
the mid credits, and the after credits.
I actually stuck around to watch him with you.
Yes,
Yeah.
you did.
Yes.
Yes, you did.
Yeah.
So the mid credit scene again. Somebody want to point up to the sign?
A
Spoilers
bit
here,
more on the
gentlemen.
comedic side.
It was but it was for those that
Happened
are
in the
fans
comics,
of the
too, a number of
it's
times.
Happened countless times in the comics. Who is faster, the Flash or Superman?
And we never really know.
and I just love the fact that they just paid a little nod to that, and then we see Arkham, I believe it is. It's either Blackgate or Arkham,
Oh my god,
Yeah.
that.
and there's a prison break.
Yep.
And we go into Lex Luthor's cell, and we see Lex Luthor from behind.
Yep.
The guard shows up,
He's
and
yelling at
guess
him.
what? He's like,
Lex!
Luthor,
Yeah,
get,
Luthor.
fall in line. And guess what? That is not Luthor at all. Luthor's on a yacht somewhere with a speedboat coming off, and then we see the tassels and the swords in the back,
Swords,
Yeah.
man.
and friggin' Deathstroke, man.
Dude,
Oh
that-
my God.
Forming the
Well, is it the Injustice League? Is it the Secret Society?
Legion of Doom.
Legion of Doom?
That's
what is it?
that's what they're gonna go with.
Legion of
I
Doom.
would say Legion of
Legion
Doom.
of Doom.
But Lex Luthor is basically saying he's forming his own league.
I have to say,
When he said league, that's what made me first think Legion
Yes.
of Doom, because that's kind of the word I would associate with that.
they are.
But see, that gives me hope because one of my big problems with DC is that you have such a vast rogues gallery compared to Marvel. Like, yeah, I know Marvel's Spider-Man rogues gallery is good.
Yeah.
But the Batman and Flash rogues galleries, like, they need to tap into those.
Agreed.
They really need to tap into those in their movies.
I want to point out just a couple things. I know you have some thoughts, Don, but I just want to quickly, because I know that this is going to kind of lose you. But John Rivera says, which Flash actor do you like better, DCU or TV? I really think it's apples and oranges because I think they're doing two different iterations of
Yeah.
Barry Allen. I mean, for the comedic side, obviously Ezra Miller, the way they're writing him is great. But the
Gus,
CW
that's really
Flash
good, though.
TV show kind of got me back into collecting comics because like when DC relaunched their stuff after the New 52 and the Flash was airing, I mean I always liked Arrow for like the grittiness of it. Kind of reminds me of the Nolan Batman, but the Flash to me feels like a comic book TV
I
show.
gotta watch the last episode of the crossover.
It's oh my god, we'll talk
Yeah.
about that at a later time too. But yeah, and Dylan makes sense. He goes, if the Flash wasn't faster than Superman, he would just be a sidekick. Think about it, and I agree. The Flash,
Yeah, it's a good
the
point.
Flash needs to have. Superman has so many other powers. Yes, let's concede that the Flash is faster, in my opinion, than Superman. Superman has the invulnerability, the super strength, the heat vision, the cool breath.
Brings you flight.
Has Superman ever time traveled?
No,
Brings
No
you back to the
knowledge.
crossover episode where Zoom says, or Reverse Flash says, "Yeah, I faced your cousin."
Yeah, I was faster.
He's-
Yeah.
So good point.
And Dylan makes that sense. Superman has other powers. But again, let's get back to Justice League though. Let's talk.
What about
let's
the
start
villain?
with this.
Let's hit the villain.
Do we think
Steppenwolf?
so?
Yeah.
That's why one of my the rating isn't as higher than what it is.
Wasn't high on the
I
villain.
feel that he was just kind of run of the mill. Steppenwolf didn't really do it for me as a villain. And to me, the heroes are only as good as the villain because if there's no, I mean, it was huge stakes.
Well, I mean, look, there was the problem with Suicide Squad.
right?
We had Putty Patrol guys, and a girl turned bad.
who was
but-
originally on their side.
But
Exactly.
I'll say this for the Suicide Squad, they're all villains.
Yeah.
So it's not that none of them are really heroes.
it's a different
one of 'em is.
take.
Katana,
Well, two of them are.
who's the other hero?
Oh, damn, what the hell was his name? What was the guy who fell in love with the girl?
Oh, Rick Flag.
Yeah.
I would well, he does some pretty.
Dude, he's my boy from one of my other TV
All right.
shows. No matter what,
All
he's
right,
good.
so-
He's good.
All right, cool. So any other thoughts? So the villain, what do we think of Steppenwolf?
His design was a lot like Ares from
I
Wonder
thought-
Woman.
okay, I
and
thought
because
we
at
were
first
getting-
you look at it,
Yes.
when you first see him in the trailer, I'm like, are they bringing Ares back? Like even me seeing Wonder Woman, I'm like, kind of looks a lot like Ares from
Ares, the
one-
bad guy in Wonder Woman?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Sounds pretty cool then.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool.
If it gets you to watch it,
Yeah, check it
No,
out.
okay. So I don't want to go on a whole tangent
Yeah.
about Wonder Woman, but it is. If you like Gal Gadot in Batman versus Superman,
you'll love her in
Yeah.
Wonder Woman.
and
Yeah,
in Justice League,
good.
like, she's amazing in Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
Amazing. She's.
I completely forgot whatever. I had an awesome point to make before, and you guys stole it from me, and you kept
Sorry,
talking
Don.
to talk about some nonsense. Jesus.
Sorry, Don.
Oh boy.
All right, so Stephen, we were talking about who we broke for the Facebook comments about who was faster. We were talking about
It's no big deal.
we were talking about the villains, the Injustice League.
Yep.
Versus, and then you had a point, and then I said, hold on, let's.
Oh my god.
You should
it
have
was-
played Jeopardy
you know what?
music right now.
Dun, dun, no. This has been the best post-credit scene ever. Ever.
Are you, and you're saying
Set-
compared to the Marvel movies too, or just for the DC?
There's a lot of Marvel ones to remember.
I was gonna say I can't scroll through every Marvel one.
Come on, Howard the
lately.
Duck.
Oh God, they should light that one on fire. But any of the ones lately though,
Yeah.
like I haven't had something like really get me fired up for like the next. I can't even remember any of like the big Marvel ones to be honest with you guys. Like
Well, there's so many of them. It's easy to kind of.
Yeah.
They're more comical than they are important. I feel like this one, the reason why I think it's the best ever as well, because I agree with that point. It's setting the universe. It's setting it in motion. It's setting the whole.
it's getting it bigger. It's allowing it to get
It's
a lot
it's an
bigger.
important moment that they put into an extra scene.
Yeah.
Where like you need to see that scene. If you don't see that scene and they move forward, it's like, okay, what the heck happened? It's an important scene to see for their universe.
And
is.
here's the way
You know?
I'll say that, because I agree with you to a certain point where, okay, so the scene does set up the next Justice League movie. It's not going
Well-
to set up to the Flash. It's not going to set up to Aquaman.
Yeah.
It's setting up for the
Okay.
next Justice
But here's the
League.
thing. So in Aquaman, let's say, I mean, I'm going to assume in Aquaman, Black Manta would be
It's
the
going to be
villain.
Manta.
Yeah,
Okay,
has
I
to
would
be.
assume
There's
that.
no way around
so now you can say, oh, in a cutscene after that or towards the end of that movie, you see
meets
Lex Luthor or you see Deathstroke, and now they're building it that way. And then they can build their rogues gallery through some of these other movies and then make the next Justice League film.
That's what it was about. That's what you were talking about before.
Yeah.
Now I like that.
Like,
they
to
made
me, that's important.
they made a small reference to the Batman villains within that movie, where he's like, "Oh, it's a
To see
long
those
way
rogue
from
galleries.
wind up explosive penguins, right?"
Yeah.
And he's like, "Yeah, I've been doing this, 20 years now, whatever." But I like that they threw that little nod to, the penguin,
Right.
Yeah.
like because imagine what he's fighting now, like the antics of the Penguin, Scarecrow. See the Joker though, I can never take anything away from him because he's psychotic enough to cause some mayhem. These other guys.
But in this universe, it's Jared Leto Joker.
Oh God.
It's more the mobster
Gangs-
Joker.
Oh my God, it is. That's the Joker we're always gonna get no matter what.
In
So
this
it's
universe.
gangsta mob.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, not so much.
I don't know. And then I think, as your
Still gonna
point-
be good.
Your point, KB, I think the Flash, the Rogues Gallery, I mean,
You get the freeze guy.
Captain
whatever.
Cold, Heat Wave, you have
all those
Mirror
guys.
Master, you have
Reverse-
Captain Boomerang, you
Zoom,
have
Reverse
Zoom,
Flash.
Reverse Flash,
Gorilla Grodd.
dude, there's tons.
What's the shark? The
There's a
King
shark.
King Shark.
Jesus.
Who else? The
Jump
Top,
into the next Suicide Squad movie
the
if they
Pied
do one.
Piper.
Like, yeah.
Like, there's so many good villains that the Flash can take from too. But one of the things I'll take away from the Justice League as well. Mera. They
Yes.
had like a good 3 or 4 minute scene.
It was
tops.
nice to see that.
And it's cool. It kind of whet your appetite for
For
the Aquaman
Aquaman.
movie. But again,
Is that the next film?
it's either Aquaman or the Flash, I believe. I can't remember off the top of my head, but I believe Aquaman is being in production now. Real quick on Facebook Live, going back to your after credit scene.
I didn't watch it.
John Vivera said after you watch the Incredible Hulk, so that's the one with Liv Tyler as
Yeah,
Russ.
That's the one with Edward Norton, right?
yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I didn't.
Stopped in. Tony
give it a
Stark
chance.
shows up and really started to connect. That's the one that kind of started connecting the worlds, really.
Well, yeah.
And it's funny how
because
that
what
actor was replaced.
What they did is they decided to pick up from there, and then because no matter what, they always consider now Iron Man 1 beginning of Phase 1.
Right.
So I mean, they took the I don't know, the rubble of what those Hulk movies were and decided, all right, let's really make something with this.
Right.
And it's kind of funny how Hulk is kind of the last character that's really developing.
Yeah, I loved how going back to Phase 1, how we had our characters sprinkled out throughout movies.
Oh, between Captain America, Thor,
yeah.
Iron Man. You had
Yeah,
all
dude, we had Black
the
Widow.
main four Avengers.
Yeah, man, it was so
sprinkled in.
awesome, man. That was really cool. But I don't know. Are we?
John just jumping in real quick. He said he thinks Flashpoint is next, so it's going to be the Flash movie. I'm curious, John, if you want to comment on here too. Just real quick, Flashpoint. If they do the Flashpoint movie as the first Flash movie where he resets the timeline,
No.
is that how? Is that how they write Batfleck out?
Maybe.
Then if they're gonna use that as their route, then yeah. But that's some. Damn, man, that aggravates me. I like him as an actor, man. He should just act right and do his
And
job.
he knows the comics. He knows.
Yes, man.
So you think he'd have more heart in it, yeah.
And in Batman vs Superman, I thought he did a great job.
Yeah.
As
He
like, you know,
did. That's what I mean. He
Next
did
to
it
Gal
right.
Gadot, he was the next best
I
thing.
give no F's. Batman at the end of his career, like he's weathered. He's
And it wasn't his
rugged.
fault how it was written.
Right? And it was just like, okay. And now, granted, I had an issue with him killing everybody. Like, cause
Me too.
To me, Batman doesn't
That's
kill.
not-
Like, he could be as vicious and as violent as he wants without killing. He can maim. He can whatever. But like the
Rolling
whole
through cars.
Well, the whole idea is with Batman is his parents were taken away by violence, so he's never going to do that to somebody else, and he never wants anyone else. Even if you have these supervillains, they might still, or these thugs, they might still have families, they might still have children. He never wants to do that to another.
Look at Will
person.
Smith and his daughter. Deadshot,
Yeah.
That was cool.
But anyway, so overall, we enjoyed. We like.
Yeah,
we enjoyed.
I like where the DC universe now is going.
There's
I think,
hope now.
I think the
good
ship
hope.
is starting to be straightened a little bit from all the. And the problem is, I think the Justice League movie had such a huge budget that it's going to be tough. So that's the thing. I think I forgot what they made. It said it made like. I don't know how many millions.
didn't
of
do
dollars,
what
but
they
it's
wanted
gonna-
it to do at the
even
box
if it
office.
does like whatever,
Yeah.
like 700 million or something, it's still going to be considered a failure because they need to because the budget was so big
Yeah.
that it needs to basically double its budget to be profitable, and that kind of sucks. But I'm just hoping like
Hey, realistically, if they lose money on that, they're gonna make money on every other movie to come.
Wonder Woman's
'Cause look,
Yeah.
I was
Wonder
It's
gonna
an
say, you
investment for the
guys-
future at the very
Yeah,
least.
you guys definitely sold me. I'm gonna give Wonder Woman a chance.
no, dude, you'll love it. I think if you like Gal Gadot as just in the little seeing
Have
the,
Beth watch it with you too. It's good.
the first
Yeah.
10-15 minutes takes place on Themyscira, just all
Gorgeous.
these like warrior girls, and the little Diana's like, I want to learn how to do this, and everybody's
Yeah.
like, no. So then she goes out and she's sneaking and she's watching all these warriors fight and she's mimicking the
Yeah.
moves, and then finally the general decides to train her, and it's just
Which is
it's so
what's
good.
her name from House of Cards?
The blonde chick.
Yeah,
Glenn Close.
I can't think of her name.
Glenn
all of a
Close?
sudden.
No, it's not
No,
Glenn Close.
wait,
It's
oh my God, why can't I think of her
not
name? She plays Frank Underwood's wife. I cannot think of her name. If anybody's seen House of Cards, they know who I'm talking about. But she's fantastic as well.
Oh, the journalist girl got killed
No,
off.
no. His wife,
Oh.
the blonde chick. I can't think of her name.
Yeah, you guys are talking nonsense to me.
Anyway.
Nonsense.
Anyway,
But
yeah, great movie.
yeah, this was a little bit of a great show. Again, the podcast version will be dropping, and the video for those that may have missed our talk on Marvel Heroes. What was it? Marvel Omega? Marvel Heroes Omega? What the
Yep.
hell's the name of that game?
Marvel Heroes Omega. Yeah.
That was in that first video. We had some internet issues, so hopefully that's been corrected, and both videos will be available. But again, thank you guys for paying attention. All of our new viewers, thank you
Yes.
for
Thank you.
joining. Thank you for the comments in the comment section. Thank you for our thank you for our sponsors, Ritual Sweat Society, Local Blast, and Pachico's Furniture. Again, KB, talk about Game King real quick again.
Oh, yep. So December 2nd, Game King is in Fall River, Massachusetts. They're having a Magic the Gathering tournament. It's their third annual Cards Against Cancer tournament. So you can go down there, you can learn some Magic, or you could sign up to be in one of these tournaments, and it's all about raising
Magic the Gathering.
Magic the Gathering, which I said the first time.
But that was the video.
No, but I said it just now. I said
Oh.
a Magic the Gathering
Oh,
tournament.
good.
So yeah, so you can go down and check them out, and they have a lot of cool stuff too. A lot of cool geekery. We also did an episode live
did
from
a
there.
live
if you want
video
to check
there,
out
yeah.
and see what it looks like.
Comic
Lots
books,
of great stuff.
collectibles, RPG games.
And
tabletop
they
games.
teach. There's people there to teach you how to play
Yeah.
games. If you want to learn something new, go down there. They're their own little community, and they're open late. If you've got nothing to do late at night, they're open till like sometimes 1 a.m. something like that. They stay up open late. So check it out.
Been a fun time. Dylan's actually saying don't leave, and we appreciate the enthusiasm. We'll be every Thursday, man. This page that we're going live on right now, Free Your Geek, just like the page, and you'll get notified every Thursday right around 6:30, 6:45 Eastern Standard Time. We go live.
Lots of old episodes to check out and
Yeah,
share.
there is, but we want to talk about our schedule because there's a certain movie that's dropping in December.
What movie?
Don, what's
No
the name of that movie?
coming out?
I have no idea what this Star Wars thing is that
It's-
you
yeah,
speak of.
Star Wars.
The first Jedi.
It's what's
The
a
middle Jedi?
I don't know what that
Star
is.
Trek Wars?
Don't
Star
even-
Trek. Oh,
You're gonna get flamed for that.
and I'm out.
No, but yeah, we're gonna be checking out probably the Thursday before it drops. We'll be checking out hopefully
14th.
There you go. So that's what 2 weeks from tonight. So maybe we
Yes.
will do a show next week. Maybe we'll kind of preview it. Maybe we'll review or we'll watch episode 7. Get caught back up on that. Rewatch it. Get our feelings back up for episode 8, and come back and maybe preview that a little bit.
Definitely.
And
Maybe we will illegally stream it. No, that's not us.
we do not condone that.
That was a joke. Don't take us off. It was a joke.
But yeah, so we'll be back. We'll be back probably next week with a quick preview, and then the
Yes.
following Thursday, which will be we'll have off. So check us out. Like the page, like For Your Geek Podcast on Facebook, and then we'll go from there. So for the new viewers, we do have a little couple of catchphrases, but before we do that, follow us on Facebook, as we mentioned. Follow us on Instagram. Follow us on Twitter. For Your Geek is the handle on both of those. Do you guys have anything else you want to plug?
Nope. I'm not a plugger.
World War II, PlayStation 4. Get on that game. Okay.
So if you want-
message the Free Your Geek podcast. We play this game.
We do.
2 of the 3 of us play
We're
this
both
game.
on PS4.
We are.
And we're
Some of
playing
us have cool names, like Only One of Me. Other ones have names like Gizmo or Gadget or.
Kazoo 82.
Kazoo.
Well,
So I'm not gonna give away any hints on whose name that is. But he did it.
I don't care. That's fine. It's
No,
an old
he's
nickname
awesome.
from back in the day.
Yeah, no, hell yeah, Gazoo's awesome.
That was
I
his
had my face painted
MySpace
green
page.
when we were
Yeah?
painting a room, and somebody called me Gazoo because it reminds me
Yeah.
from the Flintstones.
Hell yeah.
It's the whole thing.
Dude, he's a genius
Great
too.
Kazoo.
And he's
yeah.
a dick.
Also, I don't know.
Oh, he
can
caught
be.
that.
can
I
be.
tried to just slide that in. He caught it.
No. Those years, man. I'm FCC, making sure our ratings don't. Yeah, exactly. But ladies and gentlemen, check out my website too, jfreethegeek.com, JFREE, thegeek.com. I've been writing a couple articles, posting that up lately. I post a daily picture calendar every day, Marvel calendar page a day. I post those photos there. And we share the show there and whatnot. But just check that out too. And then for now, guys, thank you all for joining us. KB, Don, hit him with the catchphrase.
Start your weekend with your geek friends.
And get your couch selling geek on.
Later, folks.
Bye, everybody.
You're still here. It's over. Go home.